Greetings, glamours! On an app, a fashion haul video has been viewed over 2.4 million times. On another platform, a video of a woman trying on vintage thrifted clothes has over 3.7 million likes. Another video where a woman thrifted a dress for $5 and then made it look like $1 million has over 38 million views. So why are people going crazy over these videos? Why are they going viral? And what does this mean for the future of fashion? Well, it's pretty simple. We're in the midst of a major style evolution, one that is moving away from fast fashion and toward more sustainable practices. It's no longer enough to buy something brand new. Now we want to know about the garment's history, its material composition, and how it can be restyled in a myriad of ways. Today we're going to talk about some of the most viral fashion moments from the past few years and what they mean for the future of fashion. Let's start with the basics. What is a fashion haul? Well, according to Google, a fashion haul is a collection of clothing or other goods that have been purchased recently. Typically, fashion hauls are shared online, especially on social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram. And influencers often use the hashtag fashion haul when sharing their latest purchases. But there's a key detail that makes these recent fashion hauls different from those of the past. These are sustainable fashion hauls. That means instead of buying things brand new, the items have been thrifted, upcycled, or given a new life through alterations or DIY projects. And this shift is being driven by Gen Z and millennials, who are now the biggest spenders on the apparel market. They're not only looking for stylish pieces, but they also want to know the story behind the clothes and make sure that they're environmentally friendly. A recent study by First Insight found that 76% of Gen Z and 66% of millennials would pay more for sustainable products if given the option. So brands that are able to communicate the sustainability of their products are more likely to appeal to these shoppers. But that's not enough anymore. Sustainability has become the bare minimum. Consumers now want to see real action and transparency. They want to know how the clothes were made, where the materials came from, and what the environmental impact is. And that's where these viral videos come in. When someone buys something thrifted or upcycles an old piece of clothing, they're reducing their own carbon footprint and helping to reduce textile waste. According to the EPA, Americans throw away 17 million tons of textile waste each year. That's enough to fill a giant pyramid almost as tall as the Great Pyramid of Giza. So by thrifting or upcycling, we can give clothes a second life and reduce the amount of waste that goes to landfills. Now let us take a look at some of the most viral fashion moments that have been inspiring this movement. In February 2021, a fashion influencer named Emma made a video about her thrifted fashion finds and it went viral. The video has been viewed over 2.4 million times and has over 125,000 likes. In the video, Emma shows off a variety of pieces she found at local thrift stores, including a vintage leather jacket, a striped maxi dress, and a floral print two-piece set. She talks about the quality of the items and how she plans to style them, emphasizing the versatility and uniqueness of thrifted clothing. Emma's video went viral for several reasons. First, it showed that thrifted clothes can be just as stylish as new clothes. Second, it emphasized the importance of buying less and choosing quality over quantity. And third, it provided inspiration to other people who wanted to try thrifting. A few months later, another fashion influencer named Diana made a video about her experience trying on vintage clothes from the 1970s and 1980s. The video went viral with over 3.7 million likes on another social media platform. In the video, Diana tries on a variety of vintage pieces, from blazers to jumpsuits and dresses. She talks about the fit, the fabric, and how she would style each piece, emphasizing the timeless nature of vintage fashion. Diana's video went viral for several reasons. First, it challenged the notion that modern clothes are always better than vintage clothes. Second, it showed that vintage clothes can be affordable and accessible to everyone. And third, it inspired other people to try vintage clothing. But perhaps the most impressive fashion moment came from an influencer named Sarah. In August 2021, she posted a video showing how she turned a $5 thrifted dress into a $1 million looking gown. The video went viral with over 38 million views on another social media platform. In the video, Sarah takes a plain white dress from a thrift store and transforms it into a stunning evening gown with some simple alterations. She talks about the process of finding the perfect piece at a thrift store, making alterations and accessorizing. And she emphasizes the importance of knowing your own personal style. Sarah's video went viral for several reasons. First, it showed that you don't need to spend a lot of money to look stylish. Second, it encouraged people to be creative and experiment with their own personal style. And third, it demonstrated the power of transformations and upcycling. These viral videos have had a significant impact on the fashion industry. They've helped to shift the focus from fast fashion to more sustainable and ethical practices. They've also inspired people to buy less, choose quality over quantity, and to shop at thrift stores and vintage boutiques. But what does this mean for the future of fashion? Well, it means that brands and designers will need to adapt to the changing demands of consumers. They'll need to prioritize sustainability and transparency and be willing to share their practices with consumers. They'll also need to embrace creativity and encourage people to experiment with their own personal style. One brand that has embraced these values is Patagonia. They've been making high-quality, durable products for years, and they're committed to using recycled materials and reducing their environmental impact. Another brand that's embracing sustainability is Everlane. They're known for their transparent pricing and their commitment to ethical production practices. And of course, there are plenty of vintage and secondhand clothing stores that are embracing the secondhand market. These businesses are giving clothes a second life and reducing textile waste. But what can you do if you're not a big-name brand or designer? Well, the good news is that there are plenty of ways that you can embrace these values in your own business or personal life. Here are a few ideas. First, consider the environmental impact of your choices. When you're shopping for clothes, try to choose pieces that are made from sustainable materials like organic cotton or recycled polyester. Also, look for pieces that are well made and will last for years to come. Second, support businesses that align with your values. Shop at thrift stores, vintage boutiques, and brands that are committed to sustainability and transparency. Third, be creative and experiment with your personal style. Don't be afraid to mix and match pieces from different eras and styles. And finally, share your style with others. Inspire your friends and followers to embrace sustainable and ethical fashion. You never know whose life you might change. Let me tell you about how my style journey started and how I discovered the joy of thrifting. When I was younger, I was really into fast fashion. I loved going to stores like Zara and H&M and buying trendy pieces that I saw on social media. My closet was full of clothes, but I never really felt like I had anything to wear. Then I started watching YouTube videos about sustainable fashion and thrifting, and I decided to give it a try. I went to my local thrift store and I was amazed at the unique and stylish pieces I found. I bought a few items and I took them home, and I realized that I actually preferred the quality and fit of thrifted clothes compared to fast fashion. I also loved the fact that I was reducing waste and saving money. Since then, I've become a thrifting addict and I love sharing my finds with my followers. I've even started buying vintage clothes from the 1970s and 1980s, and I am experimenting with different styles. I am having so much fun with fashion again, and I feel like I've discovered a whole new passion. If you're interested in learning more about my thrifting journey, you can check out my blog or follow me on social media. So what's next for the fashion industry? Well, it's clear that consumers are demanding more transparency, sustainability, and creativity. Brands and designers that are able to embrace these values will thrive. But what do you think? What's your experience with sustainable fashion? Have you tried thrifting or upcycling clothes? And what do you think about these viral fashion moments? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.